Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Gareth Southgate has just announced he will be stepping down from the England manager role. He has just been announced by the England on the England Twitter account that after 122 games and almost 8 years in charge, Gareth Southgate has announced he is to leave his role as a manager of the Three Lions. Now, am I surprised? No, I don't think anyone is surprised. I think Gareth Southgate has himself even stated before the tournament that this was going to be his last tournament, regardless of whether they win or they lose. But of course, after the loss, it was almost 100%. It was only a matter of time since Gareth Southgate was to leave the England role. Now, let's talk about Gareth Southgate. I think, let's talk about pre-Gareth Southgate before we talk about Southgate. Pre-Gareth Southgate, my early memories were looking at Roy Hodgson managing England. And my God, how poor were we before Gareth Southgate is coming to the job. Now, I'm not saying he's the best manager in the world, but when you look at what we have England were doing before the Gareth Southgate tenure, I mean, we were at a position where I think we came to the point of let's just see how far we go. We knew we were not going to compete. We knew we weren't going to go to the semis or anything. It was more of let's just see how far we can go. And if it comes to penalties, we all know what's going to happen with England and penalties. We know we were going to lose. And up comes Gareth Southgate. I think he was managing the under 21s after Sam Allardyce left. Of course, there was a whole controversy thing with Sam Allardyce. He comes in after the England under managing England under 21s, and I think he's done well. I think one thing about Gareth Southgate, when you look at it over his 8 years, he has made England fans become united again. I think before there was almost that tribalism in the England national team with the fans, but I mean it's still there, but it's quite less. I think all England fans are supportive of all the players. Of course there are still some here and there, but the England fans are very supportive of the players, and I think he has united the nations in supporting England's national team. Of course he hasn't won anything, and I think that's the one thing that has like almost a black mark on his 8 years, that he has taken us very far. I mean, when we look at the England national team now, I would say even in the 2026 World Cup, I would say we can be favourites again. We're definitely up there. I'm not going to say we're favourites, but we're definitely up there with the talent we have, with the squad we have. You know, you can't. I mean, you can't lie to yourself and say we're not one of the favourites. Now, I'm not saying we are the favourites, but we definitely are one of them. But unfortunately, with Gareth Southgate, like I said, it's the fact that he's not won anything which almost hinders his 8 years there. When you look at it, you know, Gareth Southgate has had many favorable runs. Now, I'm not saying he's the best manager, and I'm not here defending him, but I would say he's had a lot of favorable runs. This World Cup, this Euros, for example, was another one. The World Cup was another one where we went to the semi-finals and lost to, I forgot who it was. The Euros as well. I mean, we've had a lot of favorable runs, and unfortunately, it just seemed that Gareth Southgate was almost that he just couldn't get over the line. And who can you blame? I don't know. I know a lot of people are blaming, you know, they blame Gareth Southgate for everything. For me, I don't think Gareth Southgate is all to blame. I do think the players have to take some responsibility. I think it's unfair. It's too easy to keep blaming Gareth Southgate for the failure of England for not being able to win a trophy. I think that's way too easy. When you look at other national teams, Belgium, for example, over the last flipping God knows how long, Belgium, with one of the most talented squads, have never won anything. No one looks at their manager. Everyone just looks at the team. So I think it's very unfair that with Gareth Southgate, everyone's blaming everyone's blaming England's failure for not being able to win something on Gareth Southgate. I do believe he does have a part to play in that, but do I believe it's all his fault? No, 100% no. I think it does also come to the players. I think maybe these players are just not as good as we think they are. I think some of these players, we just overhype them too much, and we realize when the lights are shining on the big stages, maybe some of our players are just not built for that. But in terms of Gareth Southgate, look, I think he lives on a high. He will live on a positive note. Yes, he's not won anything, but I think what he's done is he has shown that England are a competitive side. I think he's shown that we do have the quality to definitely compete. And yeah, I don't know what more to say about Gareth Southgate. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Does he become a manager of a Premier League club, or does he go into, you know, maybe a technical role up? Do I think it's going to be, watch out. I do think maybe he might become a manager of a Premier League club. It'll be interesting to see if he does. I do hope he actually becomes a manager of a Premier League club, because I do want to see how he does it. It'll be interesting to see. Of course, he's not been in a managerial job in terms of club football until Middlesbrough, I believe. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I do believe, watch out for him if a Premier League team does lose their manager next season. I don't know, maybe a mid-table club, I do think you can see Gareth Southgate in the Premier League. But I think he's gonna go on a break right now. I think most likely he's more likely to head towards the more FA type roles. I think you might see him as a technical director, sporting director, wherever roles they have. But yeah, I'll be interested to see if he becomes a managerial, if he gets into managerial job. I did hope he went to Man United. I think we all know why we all hoped he went to Man United. But that's just my thoughts. And yeah, that's the end of Gareth Southgate. Who's going to become the next manager? That's a big question. On the internet right now, I'm looking at Steve Holland, who's trending, Graham Potter, who's trending, and for me, I don't know. All I know, Steve Holland better not be the England manager. I mean, he's part of the Gareth Southgate camp, I believe. So let me just check. I do think he's part of the Gareth Southgate camp. So let's get rid of the Gareth Southgate's whole team. Okay, let's start fresh. If we're going to get anyone, Graham Potter, brilliant manager. Of course, at Chelsea didn't work too well, but let's not ignore what he did at Brighton. Brilliant football, and I think that's what England need. I think England need a manager to come in and we play actually some good football. I think, yes, we have individual talents, players to bail us out, but I think we need some players to actually... I think we need a manager to come and implement a style now. Who's that going to be? I don't know. Graham Potter, Eddie Howe is still there. Obviously, Eddie Howe is managing Newcastle, so... yeah, probably not going to be him. But I think Graham Potter is probably the most realistic one. You also got the likes of maybe Tuchel, who could potentially be it, but I don't think so. But for me, my number one choice will be Graham Potter. But that's just my thoughts, and I do think he could actually become the England manager. It just makes sense. He doesn't have a job right now in terms of managing. So yeah, I won't be surprised if he does become the manager of England. But that's just my thoughts. Of course, the most important thing is, what are your guys' thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments what you thought about Gareth Southgate's tenure at England. Do you think he was over criticized, or do you think it was justified? Let me know in the comments. Remember to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and let me know in the comments who you predict will be the next England manager. I'll be interested to know what you guys think. Apart from that, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time.